The thing is, rooms tell the truth before people do. A good table makes a person look wanted. A bad table makes them look invited by accident. 3 linen samples, 2 wine glasses, 1 silver place card holder sat in front of me that afternoon, and I was already thinking about where people belonged. My name is Serena Bellini. I was 34, and I worked as a corporate events director for a luxury hospitality group in Chicago. I knew how to hide a bad column with flowers. I knew which relatives needed distance from an open bar. I knew why a guest near the bathroom would smile during dinner and complain in the Uber. Lena said that was why she needed me. She was getting married in 3 weeks, and the tasting room at the hotel smelled like vanilla buttercream and lemon polish. She sat across from me with her planner open, asking who should sit near the dance floor and who should be buried near the service doors. The thing is, she trusted me because I could make cruelty look like design. The waiter brought tiny plates with short ribs and sea bass. I remember the sea bass had a pale sauce with green oil around it. I cannot remember what Lena said about her vows. That part is blank. Malik came in halfway through with coffee in a cardboard tray, 1 cup for me and 1 for Lena. My husband had been at work all morning, but he still remembered I forgot lunch when I got busy. He did things like that. Quiet things. Useful things. The good table was never his demand. Years before, on Sundays, we used to walk to a bakery on Darman and share 1 almond croissant because I said 2 made it feel ordinary. Malik would tear off the corner with the most powdered sugar and give it to me. Back then, his quiet made me feel chosen. At the tasting, Lena told him he was a saint for surviving my brain. Malik smiled and asked softly what had changed between us lately because I had been moving faster than he could follow. What he meant was that he missed me. What I heard was that he wanted me smaller. I told him nothing had changed. I said weddings made everyone dramatic. Then I picked up his sample place card from beside mine and moved it closer to the end of the table so Lena could see the spacing better. 3 inches, 2 women watching. 1 husband who went silent. The bridal suite had 12 mirrors, which was 11 too many for a woman trying not to see herself too clearly. The thing is, mirrors at hotels are not honest. They give you lighting, gold edges, a marble counter with hand towels rolled like little scrolls. They make every bad choice look planned. Lena stood in the middle of the suite in sweatpants that said bride in white rhinestones. Bianca was on the sofa eating sour gummy worms from a plastic bag. Priya had her laptop open on the vanity checking the final timeline because she worked with me and knew I trusted paper less than screens. Jules sat by the window quiet as usual, turning a pen cap between his fingers. Noah arrived late with iced coffee and no apology. Lena's brother always moved like a person who expected chairs to open for him. He was 37, recently separated, and careful with his smile. Not kind careful. Measured careful. He gave 1 drink to Lena, 1 to Bianca, 1 to me, and told me I looked like the only person in the building who knew what was going on. That should not have mattered. It did. Malik admired me in ways that came with receipts and oil changes and coffee after late nights. Noah admired me in front of people. There is a difference when your life has trained you to count witnesses. Noah leaned over the seating board and asked where I had hidden him. I told him he was at table 6 with 2 cousins and an aunt who collected ceramic angels. He said that felt like punishment. Bianca laughed. Lena told me to rescue him because he had been useful with the wine vendor. Useful. That word stayed with me. 3 tables near the head table were already locked. 2 seats were flexible. One of them was Malik's, because my husband never complained when a room needed rearranging. The thing is, I did not move him then. Not yet. I only opened the chart file and stared at his name. Malik Haddad, table 2, beside Serena Bellini. It looked right. It also looked like a test. Noah's phone lit up beside my elbow later while we were checking linen colours. He had texted me from across the room, asking if I could save him from table 6 because he refused to die beside the ceramic angel aunt. I smiled before I could stop myself. Malik was not there, but Priya saw my face change. She looked from my phone to the seating chart and then back to her laptop. She said I should not make last-minute social moves unless I wanted them to look personal. I said that was why she did budgets and I did rooms. It was not my best answer. It was the one that came out. That night, Malik and I ate takeout at home from the Thai place with the blue awning. He had pad see ew. I had green curry and kept picking out the eggplant pieces. The microwave clock said 9:47, which I remember because Malik asked about Noah at 9:48. He did not ask like a jealous man in a movie. He asked like a forensic accountant, which he was. Specific. Factual. He said Noah had touched my lower back during the venue tour and that I had moved toward him instead of away. He asked what had happened there. The thing is, Malik could make any feeling sound like a spreadsheet. He did not say he was hurt. He gave one example. One time. One hand on my back. He placed it on the table between us and waited for me to explain it. I heard accusation. I heard my mother's voice from years before, telling my father not to embarrass her in front of guests after the restaurant failed. I heard a man asking me to dim myself because he did not know how to stand in bright rooms. I told Malik that Noah was Lena's brother and that weddings made everyone touchy. I said he was making my best friend's wedding about his insecurity. Malik put his fork down. He said he was asking about my choices, not Noah's hand. That should have been easy to answer. Instead, I cleared the takeout containers while half the rice was still warm. I wiped the counter twice. I told him I was tired. He said he could see that. He asked again what had changed between us. I said nothing had changed, which was the first lie with a clean edge. After he went to the guest bathroom to brush his teeth because our sink was clogged, I opened the seating file on my laptop. The blue light made the living room look colder than it was. Malik's name sat beside mine at table 2. Noah's name sat at table 6. I did not move them. I only created a note in the margin. If table count shifts, Malik can sit near kids. Near kids, not at the kids' table. That is what I told myself. The thing is, seating charts are full of soft language. Overflow, flexible, family-friendly, useful. You can do almost anything to a person if the label sounds gentle. Jules saw the note the next morning when I shared the updated file. He sent one message asking if Malik knew. I answered with a thumbs-up emoji instead of words. That was another small lie, but emojis make lies look like scheduling. Jules did not press. He was the kind of friend who hated conflict so much that silence became his hobby. But he downloaded the file. I saw the little grey notification on the shared folder. Lena called me during lunch while I was standing in the hotel service corridor, eating a protein bar that tasted like chalk. She said Noah was thrilled I might rescue him. She also said Malik would not care because Malik was sweet. Sweet. Useful. Flexible. 3 words. 2 women. 1 chair moving in my head. That evening, Malik brought home drain cleaner for the bathroom sink and fixed it without making me ask. He came into the bedroom after and said the sink should work now. Then he looked at me like he wanted to say something else. I was sitting on the bed with the wedding chart open again. I closed the laptop halfway, not all the way. He saw enough. He asked if I was still changing things. I said Lena was panicking and that I had to hold the room together. He nodded, but not in agreement. It was the kind of nod people give when they store something away. By Friday, Priya had stopped joking in the group chat. Jules answered only practical questions. Bianca still sent laughing voice notes about Noah being upgraded like airline status. Lena sent heart emojis and told me nobody understood rooms like I did. The wider circle could sense something. No one named it yet. Naming a thing gives it a seat. The wedding ballroom was too warm by 7. The hotel had overdone the candles, and the whole room smelled like roses, floor polish, and the vanilla buttercream from the cake table. I stood near the entrance with the final seating list on my phone, watching guests find their places like the room was a machine I had built. The thing is, I was good at that part. People think events are about flowers, but they are about fear. Who fears being ignored? Who fears being trapped? who fears sitting beside the person who knows too much. Lena was glowing in a satin dress that made her look expensive and nervous. Evan, her groom, kept asking the band manager about timing because he did not know what else to control. Bianca had already taken 2 selfies near the champagne tower. Priya was at table 4, polite and still. Jules stood near the bar with his hands in his pockets. Noah came toward me without a seat card in his hand. He said the escort table had table 6 for him, and that he thought I liked him more than that. He kept it light. He always kept things light enough to deny later. His sleeve brushed mine. He looked at the head table, then at Malik's empty chair beside my plate. I could see the whole room from where I stood. Table 2 was visible from the dance floor. It was close to Lena, close to the photographer, close to every person whose opinion I counted before I counted my own breath. Malik had not arrived yet. He had texted that parking was slow because another wedding had started downstairs. My husband was 7 minutes late, which gave me 7 minutes to become the kind of person I later pretended I had only become for 1 second. 3 tables full, 2 open choices. 1 silver place card holder with Malik's name in black script. The kids' table was near the dessert station, tucked under a balloon arch with small gift bags shaped like animals. It was not ugly. That mattered to me then. I told myself it was not ugly. It had crayons, little cups with lids, and a good view of the cake. Malik liked kids. Malik was patient. Malik would understand. Malik always understood after I explained the room to him. I took his place card from table 2. No one stopped me. That became important later, though it should not have mattered. Bianca saw first. She raised her eyebrows, smiling. Lena saw next and gave a tiny laugh, the kind brides give when they do not want to ask hard questions while wearing expensive makeup. Noah looked away, but not before I saw the corner of his mouth lift. I placed Malik's card between Talia Ward and a boy named Henry, who had already spilled lemonade on his cuff. The silver holder looked adult there, almost comic. A little formal object surrounded by crayons. When Malik entered, he had on the navy suit I liked, the one I had picked because it made his shoulders look broader. He paused at the escort table, then looked toward table 2. His eyes went to the empty chair beside me first. Then he turned his head slowly toward the kids' table where Talia was waving a breadstick at Henry. I lifted my glass. I smiled like this was nothing, like the good table was a joke only confident people could understand. Malik walked to the kids' table. He did not look at Noah in his chair near mine. He did not look at Bianca, though she was biting her lip to keep from laughing. He looked at the card. Talia asked why my husband had to sit with them if he was not a kid. The question landed more cleanly than any insult could have. I laughed before the room could decide what it thought. I said through Lena that Malik was great with children and that we were short 1 adult at that table. Lena repeated something soft about it being only for dinner. Bianca laughed too loudly. Noah took a sip of wine and studied the menu like he had never seen fish before. Malik sat. That was the part people later remembered. Not me moving the card. Not Noah sitting near me. Malik sitting down. He unfolded his napkin and placed it on his lap. Henry's bow tie had slipped sideways, and Malik leaned over to fix it. His hands were careful. He showed the boy how to hold still without making him feel foolish. Then Malik folded a paper menu into a little tent because one girl said hers kept falling into her plate. 11 minutes passed. I counted them because the band was playing a slow jazz version of a song I hated, and the clock on the wall above the service doors had a red second hand. 3 children laughing, 2 adults whispering. 1 husband making a bad chair look gentle. For a few seconds, the room did not feel like mine. It felt like it had turned its face towards something I could not manage. Then Malik stood. He picked up the silver place card holder with his name still inside it. He walked to table 2. Every step was normal. That made it worse. He did not hurry. He did not perform pain. He reached my place and set the holder beside my plate, where it had been before I moved it. He said, indirectly and quietly, that I should enjoy the seat I chose. No one laughed. The candles kept burning. A server behind me asked another server if table 9 had received salads. Somewhere near the dance floor, Lena's photographer lowered his camera without taking the shot. I told myself Malik was making a scene by refusing to make one. I told myself he knew silence would make him look dignified and me look careless. The thing is, that was easier than admitting he had done nothing but return the object to its proper place. I followed him to the elevator because people were watching. That was my reason. Not because my hands had started folding the corner of my napkin into a hard little square. Not because Maya, Malik's sister, had arrived near the coat check and was staring at me like she had finally found the word for something. At the elevator, Malik pressed the button once. Pressed. The brass doors reflected us in a warped shape. He looked tired, not dramatic. He said he was going home. He asked me not to follow unless I was ready to say the actual thing. I asked what actual thing. He looked at my dress, my glass, the ballroom behind me, the place where Noah sat under warm light. He said I knew. The elevator opened. A man in a hotel uniform stepped out carrying a stack of folded tablecloths. The interruption made Malik shift aside, polite even then. It gave me time to choose the wrong answer. I said he was embarrassing me. He nodded once like he had put that answer in its own folder. When the doors closed, Maya stood behind me with her coat still on. She did not accuse me. She only asked where her brother had been sitting. I pointed toward the kids' table before I could dress it up. 3 candles near the elevator. 2 women not speaking. 1 empty space beside my plate. The apartment smelled like burnt toast when I woke up Monday because Malik had made breakfast and left 1 slice too long in the toaster. It was such a normal smell that I wanted to be offended by it. The thing is, after a public scene, you expect broken glass or shouting. You do not expect rye toast and the dishwasher running on the quick cycle. Malik was not in our bed. The guest room door was closed. His shoes were lined up outside it, not tossed, not hidden. Placed. That bothered me more than a slammed door would have. I made coffee and poured too much oat milk into it. On the counter sat the silver place card holder. He must have brought it home from the wedding. Malik's name was still inside, the black script clean and pretty, like the object had no idea what it had done. I tried a tactical apology before work. That is what it was, though I did not call it that then. I stood in the hallway wearing my black blazer and said the seating looked worse than I meant it. I said weddings were messy, and Lena had needed help. I said he knew I would never hurt him on purpose in front of everyone. Malik listened with one hand on the guest room doorknob. He said it was not 1 chair. He said it was years of me moving him when I needed a room to approve me. He said I used to reach for his hand when I was nervous, and now I checked who was watching first. The thing is, Malik's flaw was always that he waited too long to say things. By the time he spoke, he sounded like he had already audited the damage. There was no mess in it, no heat. I could not find a loose thread to pull. I told him he was turning 1 bad joke into a marriage trial. He said he was naming a pattern. That word made me put my coffee down too hard. A little pale splash hit the counter. I cleaned it with my sleeve because the paper towel roll was empty. At work, Priya stood at the printer eating a granola bar and asked if I wanted to talk about Saturday. She did not say wedding. She did not say Malik. Just Saturday. I told her there was nothing to discuss and asked if the Henderson deck was ready. She said it was in my inbox. After that, she stopped standing near my desk unless she had to. Lena texted me 3 hours later. She said she hoped Malik was calmer. She added a white heart, then deleted it. I saw the notification change on my lock screen. Bianca sent a meme about men being fragile in formal wear. I reacted with a laughing face, but my thumb hit the wrong emoji twice before I got it right. Maya invited us to brunch on Wednesday. Malik said I should come if I wanted to understand why people were not laughing. I heard that as a trap, so I wore a cream sweater and brought a bakery box from the expensive place near our office, the one with the gold sticker on the lid. Maya's house had children's drawings taped to the fridge and a bowl of clementines on the table. Her husband took the bakery box from me and said thank you with his mouth, not his eyes. Malik sat at the far end of the table, not beside me, not across from me, far enough that I had to look past a pitcher of orange juice to see him. 3 adults polite, 2 children whispering. 1 chair beside me empty because no one had pulled it out. Maya did not hug me. She always hugged me. Even when we had disagreed. Even when her perfume gave me a headache. Even when she was tired. This time, she turned toward the stove and asked if I wanted coffee. That missing hug pressed harder than anything she could have said. After brunch, Maya showed me a photo on her phone. She did not shove it at me. She placed the phone on the table between us. The photo was from the wedding. Malik was kneeling beside the kids' table, one knee on the carpet, helping Henry fix his bow tie. The boy's chin was lifted. Malik's hands were careful around the small knot. Behind them, the balloon arch looked soft and silly. The silver place card holder sat near Malik's water glass, too formal for that table. For a moment, the room narrowed to his hands. He did not look weak there. He did not look small. He looked like a man who knew how to lower himself so a child did not feel embarrassed. There was no performance in it, no demand to be seen, just patience. My mouth opened, but nothing useful came out. I almost saw the shape of what I had done. Not the scandal version, not the group chat version, the plain version. I had taken the gentlest part of my husband and placed it where people could laugh. Maya's phone screen dimmed. I touched it to wake it again. That small action gave me a second to close the door. I told myself Maya had chosen the saddest photo on purpose. I told myself Malik had probably known exactly how he would look if someone captured him there. I told myself they were building a small courtroom out of one wedding mistake, and I would not stand inside it. I said the photo was sweet. Then I asked her to send me the picture. She did, and I saved it. In the car outside, I deleted it from my favorites. The thing is, controlled partial truth feels like repair when you are afraid of losing control. That night, I told Malik I understood that the optics were bad. I said I should have warned him. I said I was sorry the moment landed wrong. He looked at me from across the living room. The 11 o'clock news was muted. A commercial for patio furniture played with smiling people under fake sunlight. He said I was apologizing to the audience, not to him. I told him he had an audience too. Maya, Jules, whoever else he was collecting. That was when he opened his phone and showed me the screenshot. It was from the group chat before the wedding. My message to Lena was there, clean as a receipt. If we need to move someone, Malik can go somewhere useful. Useful. I said people say things quickly in planning chats. He asked if I had told him quickly or slowly before moving his card. I had no good answer, so I used a bad one. I said he was enjoying this. Malik did not reply. He walked to the shared desk near the window. The desk where we kept tax forms, old birthday cards, warranties, and the extra key to the storage unit. He opened the top drawer and began taking out folders. Not throwing, not hunting. Taking. Bank statements, apartment papers, copies of insurance forms, his passport, my passport, which he placed on the desk, not in his folder. The black folder came from the bottom drawer, the one with old conference badges in it. He slid documents into it one by one. I said organized men always needed props. He did not look up. By the next morning, Maya had left the friend group chat. Priya stopped reacting to anything I posted. Jules sent only one message saying he hoped we both got some rest, which is what conflict-avoidant people say when they have chosen a side but want clean hands. The silver place card holder stayed on the kitchen counter for 2 more days. I kept moving it when I wiped the counter. Then I kept putting it back. The parking garage outside Malik's office had low ceilings and bad yellow light. Every sound came back twice. A car door closing, a cartwheel clicking, my own heels striking the concrete like I was arriving somewhere important instead of chasing the last private room left to us. The thing is, I had already made it public before I asked for privacy. That morning, I posted my version in the group chat. I wrote that Malik had walked out during Lena's wedding because he could not handle a harmless seating change. I said he had embarrassed me in front of my best friend's family. I said I was tired of being punished for being social, capable, and honest about what rooms required. Bianca responded first with a row of fire emojis. She always liked heat as long as she was not the one burning. Lena did not answer. Jules did not answer. Priya left the chat an hour later without comment. 3 unread names. 2 grey check marks. 1 story sitting there with my name on it. Noah sent me a private message at lunch. He said the whole thing sounded intense and that he hoped I was okay. Not that Malik was wrong. Not that he understood. Just careful words with no fingerprints. I stared at the message while standing beside the office fridge, where someone had left a yogurt with a sticky note saying, "Not yours, Brad." I remember that note perfectly. I do not remember whether I ate lunch. Malik agreed to meet at 5:30 in the garage because he said he did not want to argue in our home anymore. That sentence made me put on lipstick before I left. It was a stupid decision, but understandable to me then. If he wanted to turn our marriage into a meeting, I would arrive like a woman who still knew how to take a room. He was waiting beside his car with his tie loosened and the black folder on the passenger seat. The sight of it made my hands busy. I searched my purse for keys I already held. Malik said he had seen the group chat. I said good, because someone had to tell the story before Maya and Jules made him into a saint. He said he did not want to be a saint. He wanted his husband's place beside me to mean something in public and in private. I told him not to make it sound noble. I said he let me perform alone for years and called it supporting me from the back of the room. That was true. The garage hummed above us. A pipe clicked somewhere. Malik looked down at the concrete between his shoes. He did not deny it. That was the part that should have softened me, but it did the opposite. His silence left the truth in my hands, and I did not know what to do with it except sharpen it. He said he had failed there. He said he thought support meant removing pressure, not standing inside it with me. He said he had mistaken my brightness for confidence. Then he looked at me and said I had taken that loneliness and used it like a weapon. A woman from his office walked past carrying a salad container and a laptop bag. She slowed because we were standing too still. Malik nodded at her. I smiled too wide. She kept walking. The interruption should have lowered the heat. Instead, it gave me an audience, even a small one, and I knew how to work when watched. Malik said he would listen once if I told the truth without Noah, without Lena, without Bianca, and without the group chat. He said it calmly. A final offer, clean and plain. No begging, no raised voice. Just one open chair in a room I had almost emptied. I heard it as control. I heard him telling me which table I was allowed to sit at. I heard my mother telling my father to stay away from the guests after his restaurant failed because he brought the mood down. I heard every old warning about being attached to a man people could pity. The thing is, fear can wear a very polished dress. I told Malik I would not beg to be understood by a man who never learned how to stand beside me. I said he wanted a quiet wife who clapped for his practical love and never asked him to show up where people could see. I said Noah had looked at me like I mattered, and Malik had looked at me like a task. Malik's mouth moved once like he started to answer and chose not to. That choice did more than any speech. He reached into his car and took the black folder from the passenger seat. Then he closed the door. Not hard, not soft, just closed. The folder was under his arm now, no longer a prop on a desk where I could mock it. He said he would handle things properly. No named threat, no public drama. The tone did the work. I told him he was proving my point by becoming cold. He said cold was not the same as done, but it could look similar from where I was standing. Then he left. I stayed in the garage long enough for the overhead lights to click into their evening setting. One row dimmed. Another buzzed louder. I sent Lena 3 messages from my car. First, I asked if she had a minute. Second, I said Malik was making everything worse. Third, I told her I needed her. The read receipt appeared under the last message. It stayed there. No answer came. That absence was smaller than a fight, and harder to explain away. Lena had fed every sharp version of me for years. She had called it confidence. She had asked me to fix rooms, rescue tables, say the things she only thought. But now her wedding was over, her photos were being edited, and my damage had stopped feeling stylish. Bianca called while I drove home. She asked for the full garage story, and I gave her the version with better lighting. She gasped in the right places. She said men hated women with standards. Then her doorbell rang, and she told me she had to go because her food was there. At home, Malik's side of the closet had gaps in it. Not empty. Gaps. The navy suit from the wedding was gone. His running shoes were gone. The old grey sweatshirt I wore when sick was folded on my pillow. That was not dramatic enough for Bianca. It was too precise. Noah texted again around 10. He said he hoped I knew the seating issue was between me and Malik, and that he did not want to be dragged into couple history. Couple history. Like he had not sat in the chair that was warmed by my husband's absence. Like he had not smiled when I moved the card. Like his careful hands were clean because he never asked for the knife. I wrote a long answer. I deleted it. Then I wrote that he had enjoyed the attention. I deleted that too. I finally sent that he did not have to worry. He reacted with a thumbs up. The thing is, a thumbs up can close a door without making a sound. I spent the next hour cleaning the refrigerator. It was almost midnight. I threw away half a lemon, old salsa, and a jar of capers I had bought for a dinner party we never hosted. My phone stayed on the counter. No new message from Lena. No new message from Malik. No new message from Jules or Priya. 3 shelves clean. 2 trash bags tied. 1 apartment too quiet for the person still inside it. Before bed, I looked at the silver place card holder on the counter. Malik's name was still there because neither of us had removed it. I turned it face down. The Cook County Courthouse Service hallway smelled like wet wool and copier toner. I had come because Malik asked me to meet for a calm conversation about the apartment. The thing is, I still thought a location could be managed if I understood the room. 3 benches, 2 filing windows. 1 husband standing beside Maya instead of beside me. A man in a grey jacket asked if I was Serena Bellini. I said yes before Malik spoke. The man handed me an envelope and said I had been served. My hand took it because that is what hands do when people give them things. Inside was a verified petition for dissolution of marriage and a motion for temporary exclusive possession of the marital residence and temporary financial orders. The first hearing was listed for June 18th at 9:30 a.m. in the Domestic Relations Division. I read Malik's name, then mine, then the address of our apartment. The paper mentioned the seating chart revision, the screenshot where I called Malik useful, the group chat post after the wedding, and witness statements from Maya and Jules. The kids' table was not a joke there. It was a line in black ink. Maya stood beside Malik, with her purse held in both hands. She did not smile. She did not look pleased. She looked tired of watching her husband's sister-in-law turn every room into a contest. Malik told me, through that same careful calm, that property and bills would be handled in writing only. I tried to tell the clerk at the filing window that this was about one wedding misunderstanding. She pointed to the number printed on the first page and said I could ask procedural questions at the window when my number was called. That was all. Not cruel. Not kind. Just true. Malik left first. Noah sent one message before I reached the parking garage. He said he never asked me to move Malik's seat and did not want to be involved. My reply failed to deliver. I moved into a furnished short-term apartment above a dry cleaner with 2 suitcases, 1 garment rack, and a microwave that blinked 12 o'clock no matter how many times I set it. The temporary order stopped major joint withdrawals until the June hearing, so I started checking prices at the grocery store like numbers had become personal. Maya blocked me. Jules stopped answering. Priya stayed polite at work, and Lena sent one formal message asking me to return the earrings she had lent me for the rehearsal dinner. Noah protected himself with absence, which was the cleanest thing he had given me. My boss removed me from 2 wedding-adjacent corporate accounts after a client asked whether I was the woman from the seating story. The thing is, I thought I was protecting myself from being placed beside weakness. I knew rooms, I knew tables, I knew how to move a card before anyone noticed. But Malik noticed. Then everyone else did. 3 chairs, 2 signatures, 1 empty apartment. The silver place card holder sits in a storage box with Malik's name still inside it. I finally got the good table and no one wanted to sit with me.